In last one, we were seeing Antaranga Sadhana. Means before meditation, which steps we have to follow, that Bhagavan has discussed in 11th, 12th, and the 13th verse. Bhagavan says, the place should be clean, and that asanam which we are using for meditation, it should be na iti uchritam, it should be not too high, na ati nicham, it should not too low, chailajina kushottaram. It should be a 3-layer down below. Last it should be kusha, means mat grass, then ajinam, deer skin, chaila means soft cloth, and that should be not too high, not too low. Tatra ekagram manah krutva. Tatra means on that asana. Tatra means tasmin sthane, tasmin deshe, tasmin asane, upavishya, asane upavishya. Having seated on that asana, tatra, on that asana, ekagram manah krutva. A person should focus one's own mind, and this is the adjective of that meditator. Yata chitta indriya kriyaha. That person should be master of one's own body, mind, sense complex, and then person should yogam yujyat. That person should practice meditation. And for which purpose, Bhagavan says, Atma Shuddhai, for purification of mind. We can say there are 2 types of meditation. One meditation is for purification of mind, and another meditation is for Gnana Nishtartha, for commitment in Jnanam. So it's called Atma. Here Bhagavan says Atma Vishuddhaya. So we have seen at that time, meditation is not for Gnanam, meditation only for Chitta Shuddhi. And before sitting in meditation, immediately before, Samam Kaya Shira Grivam. Kaya means back, Shiraha means head, and Griva, dog, should be Samam in one line. Dharayan Achalam Sthiram. That position, that posture should be sthira, firm, achalam, it should not move. And what should again do? Sampraksha nasikagram sam, one's own tip of the nose, as though we are seeing. So our gaze, our eyes should be gazed at one place. It's not necessary on the tip of the nose. And dishascha anavalokayam. Our eyes should be not rotate all over the direction. That Bhagavan has discussed. Now, Prashantatma Vigatabihi Brahmachari Vratesthiraha Manasayamya Mat Chittaha Mat Paraha Yukta Asit. Bhagavan says, what are the qualifications of meditator? So Bhagavan says, Prashantatma. We have seen what is the meaning of Prashantatma? A person whose mind is tranquil. Atma here is mind. Prashantaha means tranquil. And how that person has got. So Shankaracharya ji says, because of living a life of karma yoga, that person's mind is relatively calm. Vigatabihi, that all we have seen. What is the another qualification of this meditator? Vigata bihi. Bihi means fear. Vigataha means gone. From one's mind, fear has gone. We can ask, while sitting in meditation, which type of fear may arise? So Shankaracharya says, even Puja Swamiji has said in his Gita home study, so when we are really sitting in meditation, sometimes the identification with body, mind, sense complex is loosened. So we feel as though we are dying. And that fear may arise. That's why Bhagavan says, Vigatabihi. Because total identification always we loosen if we are seriously sitting in meditation. So person should be Vigatabihi. And another way we can say, a person should not have a total identification with body, mind, sense complex. Vigatabihi. Brahmachari vrate sthitah. Again, the qualification of that meditator is Brahmachari vrate sthitah. Brahma, the meaning is Shastra, scripture. So the meaning of Brahmachari is a person who has dedicated one's own life for the scriptures are called Brahmachari. And Shankaracharya ji has written, Brahmachari Vratam means Guru Sushrusha, one who does service for Guru, one who go for alms for Guru and for oneself also, and that Bhiksha only Bhukti. That Bhiksha is only taken is called Brahmachari Vrata. Is the vows of Brahmachari. This is a one way of the meaning of Brahmachari. Even Gruhastha, householder, can also consider as a Brahmachari if that is seriously interested in Shastra. And another meaning of Brahma, first meaning we have taken as a Shastra, another meaning is Ishvara. So it is not necessary each and every person is dedicated to Shastra. There are many sadhus are available. We are given to Nam Japa. We are constantly doing Japa. That person is also considered as a Brahmachari. So here, Brahma is equal to Ishwar. One who has lived a life for only Ishvara. That person is called Brahmachari. So meditator should be Brahmachari Vratesthita. Manas Sanyamya. Before sitting in meditation, a person should withdraw all sense organ from sense object. It's called Manah Sanyamya. Shankaracharya is written, Manasaha Vrittihi Upasamritya. One who is withdrawn of thought process from external world is called Manah Sanyamya. Then Bhagavan says, Mat Chittaha. Before sitting in meditation, immediately, Mat Chittaha. Bhagavan says, one should give one's own mind to me. Mayi Parameshware Chittam Yasya. A person whose mind, Mayi means Parameshware. I am nothing, nobody else, but I am Sakshat Ishvara. One who has given whose mind is called Matachittaha. So how can we keep our mind in Ishvara? So Shankaracharya ji is given two type of Matchitta. There are two type of people who are Matchitta, who has given one's own mind to Ishvara. One Matchittaha means one who is taking Bhagavan as creator, sustainer and resolver. The meaning is one who considers Bhagavan as Srishtikarta, Sthitikarta and Layakarta. One who resolves everything. Of Ishvara, one who has all virtues. Amanita Vadam Vitvam, all virtues. One who has is also Ishvara, and one who is all compassion. One who has daya, compassion with each and every person is also Parameshwaraha, and one whose nature is Ananda. It's called Parameshwara, and in such Ishvara, mind can be resolved in all such type of virtue. It's called Matchitta. One who has given mind to such Parameshwara, one who is all virtue, one who is all knowledge. And we can do meditation, nothing but Ishwaraya Nama, even Ishaya Nama. Pujya Swamiji love Ishaya Nama. But Ishwaraya and Ishaya both are one and same. So while chanting, it's called Matchitta. So here, Mat means taken as a Ishvara. One who is available in form of Jagat. But another meaning of Matta we can take is a real nature of Ishvara, original Swarupa. And the real nature of Mat is Brahman, whose real nature is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. With help of this such words, even here I have written Satyam Jnanam Anantam, we can take as Asangaha. In any word, with the help of such word, one who can does contemplation and try to understand the real nature of Paramatma is also called as a Matchitta. So either Nirgunam Ishvara, Nirgun Brahman, or we can take as a Sagunam Ishvara. In both, our mind should, if we can give, it's called a person is Matchitta. These all are qualification of person, meditator, Matchitta. And another, Bhagavan has say, the another qualification of meditator is Mat Paraha. Paraha means ultimate. A person who has Ishvara is ultimate. It's called Mat Paraha. If somebody asks, okay, why you are doing meditation? So there are people who says, I'm doing meditation for some siddhi, some accomplishment, like Anima, Mahima, Lagima. There are many siddhis. There are many people who committed to meditation not for Ishvara, but they are for material benefit. Even there are people who would like to go in Swarga after death. For such people, they are doing meditation, but the meaning of Matpara is one for whom Ishvara is ultimate. It's called Matpara. I always used to say, generally, we are using Ishvara as a sadhana. Sadhan means instrument. Sadhanam. While eating, if we are use spoon, so it's called instrument of eating. Fork is an instrument of eating. Bus, car, everything considered as an instrument of transport. So sadhanam, we never keep in our mind. We are eating, we have used spoon, food is over and we forget spoon. If we are going by car, our own car, if we reached our destination and we get inside the destination, we never remember car. Same way, we are using Ishvara as a sadhanam. Simple means, if you want something from Ishvara, we tell Ishvara, oh Ishvara, if you do something for my son, for my daughter-in-law, something, then we will offer some money, some coconut unto you. Then Ishvara is a sadhanam for that person. I used to tell, there is one medical college in one city, and in front of that medical college, there is a Hanumana temple. So whenever exams announcements start, all students, they start visiting to Hanumana. And they ask, if I clear I will offer one coconut. Then when result come, then again all you students used to go to visit Hanuman temple and they offer coconut. But when everything is over, nobody will go for darshan of Hanuman. Then they are using Hanumana for what? As a sadhana. But what is the meaning of Matparaha? A person for whom Ishvara is sadhana also and Ishvara is goal also. Somebody asks, what is your goal in life? Then we can say, Ishvara. To understand Ishvara, even some say, I would like to have darshana of Ishvara, then is a goal. But to achieve that goal, we have to use Nama Japa. That Japa, Nama Japa is considered as a sadhana. So there are few people for whom Ishvara is sadhana also, and Ishvara is a goal. Such person is called Matpara, one who is given to only Ishvara. For a person for whom Ishvara is ultimate, it's called Matpara. And last one is Yuktaha. Shankaracharya's religion is a meditator. Now, Asit, one who sit for meditation. Yukta Asit Matpara. In next verse, Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, Atha idanim yogam yoga phalam uchyate. Before the new verse comments, Shankaracharya says, Atha means now, idanim, hereafter, yoga phalam, the result of meditation, uchyate, is being said. Yunjannevam sadatvanam yogi niyatamanasah. We have already chanted. So Yunjannevam. So Bhagavan says, yogi means meditator. Niyatamanasah is again qualification of meditator. A person, Niyatamanasa, one who is a master of one's own mind, is called Niyatamanasah. Sada Atmanam. Atmanam means mind. Sada means always. Atmanam, Yunjan, should connecting. Here, Yunjan is a present active participle. Yunja means to connect. Connective mind with Sadatmanam. And if person sit like this, then what happened to this person, this yogi Niyatamanasah? Bhagavan says, Adhigachati. The meaning of Adhigachati means he gains or she gains. What that person gains, Shantim. Shantim means peace. But which type of peace? Nirvana Paramam. Again, this Nirvana Paramam is adjective of Shanti. Mat Sanstham, again, is an adjective of Shanti. So Bhagavan says that person will gain Shanti. Nirvana means liberation. Paramam means ultimate. This Shanti is Paramam Nirman, means is ultimate because it is gained after liberation. Because of liberation, this Shanti it gains. And Mat Sanstham, the meaning of Mat Sanstham means one which is Sanstha means Tishtati, which is centered, which is remain in me. So this Shanti is never goes out, it remains in me. Such Shanti that person gains. So let me see the meaning. Yunjan evam. So there is a one, here is evam, Yunjan evam. So what is the meaning of evam? So Shankaracharya said, in this manner, means what Shankaracharya said, Bhagavan has said, which type of place, which type of asanam, how one can sit, it's called evam. In this way, person should sit in meditation. And after sitting in meditation, sada means always, atmanam yunjanam. Yunjan means one who has connect one's mind. Mind connecting, and who will do is everything. So Bhagavan says, a yogi, a person. And such person, again, niyatamanasah. Same, the Niyatamanasa means one who is a master of one's mind. Shankaracharya has written, Sanyatam Manasam means Manaha Yasya Saha Niyatamanasah. According to Sanskrit grammar, this is called Bahuvrihi Samasa. See, always explain the qualification of another person. It's called Bahuvrihi. So a person whose mind is always under control, that person is called Niyatamanasa. Such person, Shantimati Gacchati. So what is the meaning of Shanti? So it says there are three types of peace or Shanti. First, Shanti, it says, in such Shanti, there is no thinking. And this Shanti, which can be gained by induce something. We can take any drug also, we can take alcohol also. By taking, we can induce Shanti, and there is no particular thought process. And we have cut down our thought process by using even tranquilizer, anything. And we can gain a Shanti. So there is a one type of Shanti. And this Shanti is a temporary. And to gain this Shanti, we have required some inducement. With help of this only, we can have Shanti. Another Shanti, Bhagavan says, we can have this Shanti by living a life of Karma Yogi, but we can enjoy Shanti with the capacity to manage our mind. In any situation, if we manage our mind, then we can have some Shanti. And if we can manage our mind in any challenging situation, then we are a master of our mind. And Shankaracharya has written, how can we gain such Shanti? By living a life of Karma Yoga. This is a second type of Shanti. And in such Shanti, how can we have Shanti? So according to Swamiji, or if we say, so when we are living a life of Karma Yoga, then whatever comes in our life, we always receive as a prasada. So when we receive prasada, even unpleasant situation, then there is a distance between oneself and our mind. And this distance helps to manage the situation. This distance helps to manage the problem. This is another type of Shanti. This is very important if we can manage any situation. And it's possible only by living a life of Karma Yoga. But third Shanti, Shankaracharya says, how person can gain. So he says, a person knows mind is me, but I am not mind. Mind is given to me. Mind is instrument of me, but I am not mind. This knowledge is privilege for us. And this such knowledge, this mind is given to me, but I am not mind. This knowledge gives us freedom. And we can gain such Shanti. Always there is one slogan of Pujya Swamiji, psychology has no solution and Vedanta has no problem. Why such slogans comes? Because one who knows Vedanta thoroughly, that person knows I am not mind. And psychologists or psychiatrists always deal with mind. And how long we can deal. Mind can think anything. So if we have really Gnanam, then we can think mind is given to me, but I am not mind. This thinking gives Shanti. This Jnanam gives Shanti. So in such situation, we need not to control the mind. Because whenever mind goes, Yatra yatra manahayati tatra tatra samadhi. There is a one, even stotra is there. Whenever mind goes, our mind is samadhi, because mind is always calm, peaceful. And this is called Nirvana Paramam Shanti. So Bhagavan is discussing in this verse which Shanti. So he says, not this one, which is come after inducement. Even not this Karma Yoga, we have gained this Shanti, but this Shanti is because of real knowledge of one's own Swarupa. Gives permanent Shanti. One example is given, even I have heard from somewhere else. It says one sadhu was sitting inside the temple and he has kept his both leg on the Shivlinga. Then one another devotee has come, he was seen this sight, he was become uncomfortable. He start telling that Mahatma, you don't have any manners, why you are sitting like this? Then that sadhu says, now I am very old, please remove my legs from the shivling. Then that person has hold his legs and kept somewhere else. At that time also one shivlinga is popped up. So whenever he has changed his leg, but every time the shivlinga has come. Then sadhu says, for me, whole world is nothing shivlinga only. For such person, Shanti is Nirvana Paramam and Mat Sansthan. So both is the adjective of Shanti. So Bhagavan says, Mat Sansthan Shantim, Mat. What was the Nirvana Paramam Shanti? So what is the meaning of Mat Sansthan? Sansthan. There is a one stha is there. The stha means tishtati, to remain. Sam means proper. One whose mind is remained properly. Mat means in me. Here mat is not fifth case, but mat means Mai Parameshwara. In one's mind is always remain with Paramatma. That person has gained Shanti. This Shanti is called Mat Sansthan. The meaning of Mat Sansthan, which is identical with oneself, which always obtain in Paramatma, which does not involve and never oppose anything. It's called Mat Sansthan. If opposition is there, if we resist something, then it becomes Ashanta. So the Mat Sansthan means a peace which never goes, never comes also, which always remain with us. So I have written, such Shanti never oppose our thought process also. Such Shanti, such peace never oppose the world also. Such Shanti never oppose knowledge also. And such Shanti never oppose ignorance also. And such Shanti never oppose anything. I always used to say, that whenever we have some jnanam, somebody shows apple. So they ask, what is this? And we say, this is apple. But really meaning what we would like to convey, I know this is apple. If somebody shows us some tree, we can say, yes, I know this is a tree. Then all objects keeps on changing. In place of apple, tree comes, then flower comes, fruit comes. Every time we can say, I know this is a flower, this is a tree, this is an apple, everything. And then somebody asks, do you know English or do you know Japanese? Then if we know English, we say, yes, I know English. And somebody says, can you speak Arabic or can you speak French language? Then we say, no, I cannot speak. The meaning is, I know, I don't know French. I know English. I know, I don't know. So this I know is remains same in each and every object. each and every, any thought process, that I know never oppose anything. That's why this I know never oppose knowledge also, it never oppose ignorance also. It remains same in each and every our thought process. That is called Mat Sanstha. This is the meaning of Mat Sanstha. In me only. And such person will give Shanti, a peace. And another is Nirvana Paramam. So what is the meaning of Nirvana? So Shankaracharya is written, the meaning of Nirvana means moksha, liberation. Tat Paramanishta, one who is a 100% dedicated, commitment in that moksha commitment, and because of this commitment, yasyaha shanti, that peace is called Nirvana Paramam. Tam is in second case, that's why Nirvana Paramam Shanti. Because one who knows one's real nature, that is always connected with one real nature. So this Shanti does not depend on condition of mind. That's why I say all thought process keep on changing. But I know I am not in mood. I know I am in mood. I know I am angry. I know I am feeling dejected. Everyone, this I know is common. And this I know is just given a consciousness to thoughts. But this I know is always away from this thought process. And that I know is myself. This jnanam is called Nirvana Paramam. Shanti is called Nirvana Paramam. That's why this I know is not dependent on any condition of mind. Because this I know is nothing but Swarupa of oneself, is Atma. And whereas Shanti, which depends on condition, such Shanti is disturbed. And it's subject to disturb. But a person who knows, I am not thought process, but I am an observer of thought process. That person is really Gnani, and what he gains, that Shanti is Nirvana Parama. Both words Bhagavan has used in this verse is beautiful. So what is the nature of Atma? So is by nature Swarupatah Shantaha. This Atma, this consciousness is naturally Shantaha, and one who knows I am not all vritti pravaha, I am not thought process, but aham Atma, aham Shanta. This knowledge is called Nirvana Paramam Shanti Adhigachati. The person will gain such type of Shanti. But detail of this Shanti we will see tomorrow. Any question regarding Shanti, Nirvana Paramam or Mata Sanstha? Yeah.
Swamini ji, we have only what you explained now. We have only these meanings for Shanti, because I heard somewhere in yoga class Shanti means Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adi Jaivika, like that I heard. Is it?
There are three types of Shanti. Adi Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Devika. That always we are chanting in after Purnamada Purnamidam. That Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This Shanti is not regarding Nirvana Parama. This Shanti is connected with oneself, surrounding oneself, and all natural forces. That Shanti, all three. It's called Adi Devik, means connected to natural force. So while listening, any natural force should not disturb us. That's why we say Shanti. While listening, also surrounding us, all people or all, everything should be peaceful. That's why Shanti. Even everything is Shanta, but we ourselves are disturbed, then how can we listen? So third Shanti is Adhyatmika. So body wise and mind wise, both I should be peaceful. This is Shanti. But this is totally different Shanti. Huh?
Okay.
So Swaminiji, so when you talk of this Nirvana Paramam Shanti, you're talking of a jnani who knows his real nature, and therefore he can put a distance between himself and the mind. So whatever the condition of the mind, it doesn't bother him because he doesn't pay any attention to it. But in the process, the mind will also quieten down, isn't it?
That without karma yoga, we cannot reach such situation. So first is the second one, no, what I have shown, the second Shanti is a relative Shanti. With the help of this karma yoga life, we can have relative quiet and mind. And this mind, when listen Shastra, then it becomes Nirvana Parama. But without that second Shanti, last one cannot be possible.
Correct. So which means without first of all, without the karma yoga, you cannot know. The knowing itself is not possible. So you first step is karma yoga. Then you can understand. You let us assume you become a jnani. You know. That means your mind is already conditioned in the sense, not conditioned. Your mind is already quieted because you have done karma yoga and you have then come to study of this scriptures and then you understand. So the condition of the mind is not like the condition of the mind that we have. Like normal, I mean, normal people have or students of it. You're talking of somebody whose mind is already in a very elevated state, isn't it?
But I can say a person is a simple person who lives a life of karma yoga. Na? That person doesn't know my mind is quieted. But really speaking, I have seen many students, one who are seriously living a life of karma yoga. They say before 5 years, we are not like that. But after 5 years, I'm not getting much angry. My mind is quietened. We can say now they have gained some relative peace.
Yeah. No, my question is related to, you said the person who has this param shanti. So a jnani, he, irrespective of the condition of the mind.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Whatever, but the question is, for such a jnani, what kind of mind will he have really? The mind,
like Raman Maharshi has, like Raman Maharshi has, like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has, such mind. Even Puja Swamiji
already a resolved mind.
Yeah.
The elevated people.
Yeah, they are all.
Your Hemlataji, you're asking the question that Arjuna asked in the second chapter. How does the Sthita Prajna, what is the description? How does he look like? How does he behave? I think you're asking exactly that question.
Correct, exactly. No, the thing is, I'm intrigued by this. Irrespective of the condition of the mind, you put a distance between yourself and the mind. So whatever the mind is, it still doesn't matter because you're gone beyond the mind.
Because I think one of the, from Sthita Prajna, right? The very first verse is Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan. So as long as desires are in our, psyche or mind, they pull the mind. It is not that the mind is going, it's because of the desires that the mind is pulled away. So once the desires calm down, the mind automatically calms down, right?
But
we are buffeted by the desires.
Even sometimes sattvic desire is also there in this such type of people. Still, they are never carried by some desires. Like Puja Swamiji, even like Krishna, Bhagavan has some desire. No, Arjun should listen properly.
Yes.
Even Shankaracharya might have
Swamiji, I don't know, this is a issue I have with that word desire. I don't say that Krishna has a desire. I feel like Krishna has compassion for Arjuna. He has compassion for Arjuna, and Shankaracharya has compassion for other people that, they are struggling in this mire of samsara. Maybe it is my duty to help them. So he wrote these bhashyas.
Yeah,
to
maybe
out of compassion.
Out of compassion, yeah, we can, yeah.
Yeah. So the point what I was trying to ask you is the condition of the mind of such a person, such a jnani, is already. I mean, you don't have to say irrespective of the condition of the mind, because his mind is already in a very resolved state.
Condition, yeah.
It's not like people like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Struggling with your mind, but this is.
You know, one day.
That means again that this.
One day somebody has asked Pujya Swamiji, if you would like to born again, would you like to born again? Swamiji said, why not? If somebody, you take it for so long time. If somebody asks you, you take one more birth, I have no problem. Like such the person has mind.
Actually, Swamiji, what you say is like, I think I've read many bhaktas are like that. Bhaktas are like, I want to come again and again.
Yeah.
So that I can enjoy the, you know, the presence of Ishvara in my life.
Yes.
Even, you know, such Gnani also, they have rebirth. Same, out of compassion. For they can do something for other people. That's why they again they are born.
Yeah, yeah. So they actually they wish that they want to come back again, and so they can
help the society. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Any question?
There was one thing I was thinking, Swamiji. It was very nice. You said, when you say, do you know Arabic? And you say, no, I don't know. And you say, I know that I don't know Arabic, right? So there was a lecture Swami TV was giving a couple of weeks ago on verse 440 in Gita. It is about Agnyaha, you know, Agnyaha.
Okay, yeah.
So he says, the problem is not that we don't know anything. The problem is that we don't know that we don't know. You know, we think we know, but we really don't know. You know, and so he was saying, like, you know, so I don't know that I know myself, right? I think I know myself. Oh, I know myself very well. You know.
Yeah.
I've lived with myself for 50 years, whatever. I know
That's
myself.
again ignorance. That when we don't know that we don't know. So knowledge removes the ignorance, I guess.
So there is a Socrates, you know, he was saying some wise god or somebody said that Socrates is the wisest person in the world. And so people came and told him that, you know, oh, this god said you are the wisest person. And then Socrates says, how is that possible? You know, I don't know anything. How can I be the wisest person? Right? Because he knows that he's not knowledgeable about the real thing. And so he's, whereas everyone thinks they know.
So actually in Kena Upanishad, there is a one mantra is there. Vidita avidita pyam adi. What is the nature of real Atma? Is vidit means known, avidit means unknown. The Atma is away from both known and unknown. That's why ignorance and jnanam. I have jnanam is also one type of, you know, they say. So vidita avidita pyam adi. Very beautiful.
So that means, Swamiji, like technically, you cannot say that I know the Atman, right? Because then it means Atman becomes the other.
Yeah,
right?
it's become an object.
Object.
Yeah, it's become object.
The object of your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Any question? Kastananji? No?
No, Swamiji, thank you.
No. So, but Swamiji, tomorrow we are going to do the same thing. We are continuing on this one, right?
Yeah.
Nirvana Paramana.
Okay. We little bit we explain more. Very, very beautiful word.
And the Sthita Prajna, Swamiji, the last 2 verses, you know, that Apuryamanam, it comes Sashanti Mapnoti na Kama Kami, and then and then the very last verse, Sashanti Madhigachati, it comes, right? That,
same, yeah.
Param Shantim Madhigachati.
No, Sashanti Madhigachati.
Esha Brahmisthiti Partha Yenam Prapya Vimuhyati Stitva Syamanta Kalepi Brahma Nirvana Mrichati.
Yeah.
Same.
Very good,
Yeah,
Swamiji.
before that it says Sashanti Madhigachati.
Yeah, before.
And then in the 18th chapter it comes Tameva Sharanam Gacha Sarva Bhava. Tat Prasadat Param Shantim Sthanam Prasyasi Shashvatam. It comes. That Param Shantim comes in the later.
There also, yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we do Purnamada? It's already 9:45.
Sorry, Swamiji. we missed 10 minutes, so we are making up for that.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem. Yeah.
Good, we could connect back.
Yeah. Om Purnamada
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.